Hey guys, I hope you're all fine. Today we are here to discuss about range extension. About a C program in range extension. Let's get into topic. So here, the first one is slash include studio.h. It is a library and it is in domain. We all know about it. We start with a flower bracket, C longest, and here, if you look at here, I gave like float, which means we these all C D1 L1 R1 N1 N2 S R2 V1 I1 V2 N3, these all will contain the float values. We can give them the float values. Here, this one, this line will print the line, like if you want range extension for ammeter or voltmeter, then type 1 or 2 respectively, which means it is asking the user if you want the ammeter range extension, then type 1. If you want the voltmeter range extension, then type 2. And here, this is scanf. It will store the, if the user gives 1 or 2, the 1 or 2 value will be stored into the C. And if C is equal to 1, if the user gives the value 1 for C, then ammeter range extension will takes place. Here, this one, this printf will print the line like enter full scale deflection current on the of the ammeter in ampere. And this scanf will store the value of the full scale deflection current value. Here in it, it will this value will be stored in D1. And 1 minute guys, yeah. And this line printf, here it will ask the user like enter line current in amperes. And here, this one, scanf, this scanf will, if the user, after the user enter the value of line current, the value of line current will be stored in L1. And here, this one, this printf is asking the user like enter resistance of ammeter, then the resistance of ammeter will be stored in R1. And here, the N1 is equal to D1 into R1. Here, D1 into R1 value will be stored in N1, and L1 minus D1 value will be stored in N2. Then, yes, we all know that the formula of range extension in ammeter is S is equal to Im into Rm by I minus Im. So, we will store the value of N1 divided by N2 in S. And here, this printf will print the value of required shunt resistance for range extension. And if the user, as I told you in the above, if the user enters the value 2, then voltmeter range extension will take place. And here, in this process, it will ask the user like enter voltmeter resistance, then the value will be stored in R2 by using this scanf function. And after that, it will ask the user like enter full scale voltage of the voltmeter, then the value of full scale voltage will be stored in V1 by using this scanf function and printf. And after that, it will ask the user enter full scale deflection current, then the full scale deflection current value will be stored in the I1 in the scanf function. Then it will ask the user like enter voltage to be measured, then the required voltage to be measured will be stored in V2 by using the scanf function. Then we will store the value of N3 is equal to V1 minus V2. Here we know the formula of voltmeter range extension is R is equal to V minus V by Im. Here we will store the value of N3 divided by I1 into R. Then we will print the required series resistance for voltmeter range extension. Here it will print the value of required series resistance for voltmeter range extension. If the user type the value like other than like any value other than like other than 1 and 2, like 3, 4, 5, etc. Then this will run. Here it will print the it print like enter only one or two to perform range extension on ammeter and voltmeter respectively. Then we will return the value 0. Then we will close the program. Let's see the outputs. At first it will ask like this: if you want range extension of ammeter and voltmeter, then type 1 or 2. Then if the user type 1, then it will ask the value of full scale deflection of current. Then if the user type the value of 1.0, then it will ask the user to enter line current value. Then if you enter the value of 100, then it will enter the it will ask the user to enter resistance of ammeter in ohms. Then if the user enter the value like 0.02, then it will show the required shunt resistance as 0.000202. Now let's see about the output too. If you want range extension of ammeter and voltmeter, then type 1 or 2 respectively. It will ask like this. Then if the user enter the value 2, then here voltmeter range extension will take place. Here as the user entered the value 1, ammeter range extension will take place. Here voltmeter range extension takes place. It will ask the user enter voltmeter resistance. If the user enter the value 2.0, then it will ask the user enter full scale voltage of the voltmeter. Then if the user enter the value, then last enter the value 0.02, then it will ask the user to enter the value of full scale deflection current. Then if you enter 0.01 amperes, I mean we don't enter like amperes, we will enter only values. If you enter, then it will ask the user like enter the value of voltage to be measured. Then we should enter only 300, not V. I wrote it wrong here. Then the required series resistance will be 29998. Let's see the case 3. Here in the case 3, if the user enters the value other than 1 or 2, if the user enters the value of 1, then it will perform ammeter range extension. If the user enters the value 2, then it will perform the voltmeter range extension. If the user enter the any value like 3, 4, etc., here if you enter the value 7, then it will ask the user like enter only 1 or 2 to perform range extension on ammeter and voltmeter respectively. This is all about the C program on range extension, guys. I hope you understand, guys. Thank you.